Watch this. One simple wrist lock after contact completely eliminates backhand instability, and the fix takes literally seconds. Today I want to talk about a problem most recreational players share, an unstable backhand. This isn't advice for professional athletes, this is something you can apply right away. Watch as my partner demonstrates. I ask her to focus on one thing, lock the forearm and push forward through contact. Immediately, the moment she emphasizes that point, her backhand output changes completely. The ball comes off the paddle with more authority. She notices it too, before the fix. Her whole arm felt wobbly and uncontrolled. Let me explain where the power comes from on the backhand. After you strike the ball, your entire arm, especially this section, the wrist and forearm, must lock down. You have to hold the tension right here. If this area stays loose after contact, the force keeps traveling and the ball sails long. That's exactly the problem. Topspin, backspin, it doesn't matter, errors happen because the energy isn't contained. The arc extends too far. Put simply, the arc gets too long. Once my partner focuses on locking down after contact, watch what happens. She rallies without a single miss. She can feel the difference, that locked sensation at the end of the stroke. It's real. The wrist and forearm clamp shut, and the ball stays on the table. Next, point 4. How do you avoid errors during backhand exchanges? Most of you have the same experience. The moment you try to add power, you miss. So you play soft, afraid to commit. Every recreational player wants to rip the backhand, wants to seize the initiative, but the pattern is always the same. Add force, miss. Try to change the line, miss. Eventually, you stop trying. Deep down, you still want that aggressive backhand. Let me explain why this keeps happening. What I'm sharing with you is my personal feel, not textbook theory. It's my real match sensation. I always feel like I'm pressing down on the ball, smothering it. Think of it this way. If the ball is right in front of your eyes, you can't actually see it, it's blocked by your own racket. That's the state I'm in. I'm always over the ball, like this. Normally you'd be back here and you can see the ball clearly, but I can't see it, I'm always on top of it. Maybe not quite that extreme, but that's the idea. Here's why balls go long. I coached a player today whose form looked textbook, yet her backhand kept sailing out. She wasn't even swinging hard. The reason? Her racket face was too open, she was flat hitting. Watch, my partner feeds me one with just a touch more friction. As long as you brush upward even slightly with an open face, the ball flies long. That's why even a gentle contact sends it off the end. Now watch us rally in a sustained exchange so you can see the difference. Watch, if my partner just adds a little extra length and spin, my ball immediately goes long. It's not about power. Some people say, I'm already holding back, my swing is tiny, why does it still go long? This is why. The more you fear the incoming spin and just tap at it, the more you follow the opponent's rotation. Your return has no quality, so the opponent's next ball comes back even harder, a vicious cycle. My feeling is this: I must contact the upper middle part of the ball. I must press down through it on the backhand side. What we're talking about here is the backhand rip, not a basic backhand drive. Watch the difference. Yes, my racket angle opens up during the follow-through, you can see that. But at the actual moment of contact, the face is fully closed, pressing over the ball. Watch, my partner feeds it into my hand, completely closed at contact. As I complete the stroke, the angle opens because the swing path rises, there's an arc, so the paddle naturally opens on the way up. But at the instant of friction, it's thin and compressed. Go home and freeze frame your favorite player's backhand rip. Look at the contact point, they're pressing paper thin over the ball. After contact, the racket lifts because the motion goes forward and up, so the angle opens. Then on the reset, it closes again. Understand? Then, during the backswing, in that first 30% of the stroke, from zero to contact, you must press and brush thin. Graze the upper middle part of the ball, keep it compressed, and then the forearm drives forward with a punching, projecting feel. It's not a flicking motion. Watch the quality on these balls. This is what's possible. Follow the ideas I've laid out, internalize them, and then reinforce the feeling in your daily practice. It's not that you haven't trained enough. Many players have put in the hours, but their backhand never catches up to their forehand. Your natural feel for the backhand simply isn't as strong. So going forward, take these principles and build them into your technique. Otherwise, you'll train for years and still plateau. In matches, when you face someone with a strong backhand, you'll still struggle without this. What I want to share is how to generate real power in high-quality exchanges and still dare to commit. If every hard swing goes long, of course you stop trying. So remember the key: press over the ball, brush thin, then drive the forearm forward. That forward push after contact is critical. Next point: on many backhand balls, you don't need to do all the work yourself. Learn to borrow the incoming energy. The backhand is the easiest stroke to borrow force on. Watch my partner rallies with me, and every ball I play here is borrowed energy. I'm not generating my own power at all. To make your backhand truly good, you need to learn 3 modes. First, borrowing force, using the incoming ball's energy, staying in front of your body. Second, active force. When the ball comes slow or short, you pull back, load up, and generate your own power. Third, stored force, waiting for the right contact point, then releasing. If you master these 3, your backhand cannot stay weak. The difference between them comes down to what your opponent gives you. If your opponent only pushes soft, short balls, you'll never get anything to borrow from. Because most opponents at this level are just touching and redirecting the ball, right? Occasionally someone punches one at you, but those tend to stay short. For this type of incoming ball, relatively slow, relatively short beginners absolutely must learn to draw the hand back, load up, and generate their own force. Watch. If you only try to borrow the incoming energy on a short ball, you'll find yourself reaching, leaning forward off balance. So you need to create your own power. My ball here isn't extreme quality. I'm not trying to explode every shot. For players with a year or 2 of experience, this is the key habit. Pull back, load, then drive through the backhand rally. This is genuinely critical. The reason you can't match your opponent's rhythm in backhand exchanges is that you're not adjusting to each ball. Many players start fine, generating force early on, but as the opponent's quality increases, they get jammed, stop adjusting, and fall back into just blocking. Once you're only blocking, now, at higher levels, when your opponent has real quality or attacks with their forehand, you can't just block. If I simply block a strong ball back, I lose my chance on the next one. I'd have to suddenly generate power from nothing. So what do I do instead? I use the incoming spin and redirect it. Watch this. Use the incoming spin, the ball comes back fast, you brush it back. After contact, keep your hand in front of your body, finishing at about the 50% position. Stay right here. Watch. The first time my partner loops at me, if I reach out too far, I immediately get jammed. There's no room to extend. But if the incoming ball is truly heavy, a full power loop, then yes, you do need to absorb and defend. Still, for the majority of rally balls, because the backhand works in front of the body, you can redirect almost everything with a compact brush, borrowing the opponent's force and sending it right back. You must adjust to each incoming ball. That's my biggest takeaway. Most players feel like they're never in the right position. The ball is either too short or it jams them. When it jams you, stay compact up front and brush it back. When it drops short, don't reach forward to force it. Pull your hand back first, then go. This is different from normal forehand technique. Normally, when you generate power, you swing through, that's fine. But when the ball is short, don't push your hand out to meet it. Bring it back, then fire. When it's medium depth, work right in front. The mistake isn't at the contact point, it's in how you load relative to where the ball actually is.
它不是在接触球这一下出的毛病，是在你蓄力跟这个球
The
反手
problem is
跟这个球
spatial,
来
your
球以后，
relationship
对
to the
方打出来
incoming
的时候
ball.
空间上
Either you're
出
too
毛
far
病
from
了。
it and you're
我要
reaching
不
at the
离这个球
last
太远
second,
了，
or
我
you're
最
too
后是
close and you get
我
jammed.
要不离这个球太近
Once you
了，我
master
最后
this
是顶不住
spacing,
了。
your backhand
明
has
白
to
吗？你把这
improve.
个空间一掌
This
握
is
的就像
exactly
不
why
可
you
能
can
好，
rally
我把
100
握好。
backhands perfectly in training, then miss after two in a match. The
对的，
ball
这就
goes
是
long
为
because
什
your
么你训
opponent
练一
adds
百下
power,
反手就能
and you
打，
match
一
it
到
with
比
full
赛的时候
force
两个
too
世界，
much.
或者2下就下网。
The ball goes
出
into
现
the
原因
net
是什么？
because the
因为
opponent's
过来的
power
时候出的劲
arrives
儿
before
一
you
使
can
劲儿。
complete your
第二
stroke,
个，你
and you
下
get
网的原因
stuck.
是什么？他一使
Your
劲儿，
backhand
你的提
technique
速动
might
作
be
被顶住
perfectly
了。
sound in isolation. The issue is adapting that technique to live, variable incoming balls.
对，对反手动作极其相熟。对，练得太
So
多
your
了。
backhand
所以
must
我感觉
respond
大
to what
家
your
的反手
opponent
要根据
actually
对
gives
方的
you,
来
their
球，
level,
根据
their
对方
speed,
不
their
同的
depth.
水平，包括颗粒。
Against someone who plays
我跟
everything
颗粒，
short
我
and
为啥喜
slow,
欢
you
跟颗
have
粒
to
玩？
stay
因为
planted at
颗
the
粒的球
table
永
and
远是
press
短
into
的。
them. The more they keep it
对，
low and
然后
dead,
你
the
一
more
定
you
要
resist the
处
urge
在
to back
球台上
away.
跟颗粒打。
If you retreat
你
against
颗
soft
粒越
balls,
沉，
you'll
你
dump
越往后
everything
走，
into the
你
net.
越下网。
Stay
你一定要
close,
处在
stay
这儿，最后
compact,
顶
and
它。
push the pressure
顶
back onto
2下
them.
它自己就别扭
2
了。
or 3 firm returns and they lose their rhythm.
问问大家有没有收获吧。嗯。